I love working with the team towards a common goal.
For the camaraderie.
Camaraderie and playing with my teammates.
I play for my team.
Teamwork and the connections that I can build on and off field.
For the community and the exercise.
Because of the community and the competition.
I like playing Ultimate Frisbee for the competition.
I play for the competition and the fun.
For fun.
Because fun.
I love getting to work hard.
You get out of it what you put into it.
Leave everything out here.
Every time I step on the field, I want to be a better player.
You know, give something people to talk about.
Be happy but never satisfied.
To step away from real life and focus on Frisbee.
I play because I love Ultimate.
Find your drive.
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 Sun is rising in Ottawa for day number 3 of CUC Junior Division. What an outstanding tournament have we attended so far. Yesterday, out of the 4 broadcasts we did, 3 ended in universal point. Can you believe it? 3 out of 4. That's how exciting it was. Looking forward for a ton of action here at the beautiful UPI facilities, all natural grass, 19 field. Can you believe it? My name is Etienne. I will have the great privilege of co-hosting this morning game, semi-final in the women's division. But don't worry, I will not be alone. I will have the immense privilege of sharing the mic with everybody considering her as the Taylor Swift of commentating. Chantal Dussault. Chantal, thanks again for being here. Or should I say Taylor? Can I still call you Chantal?
I do prefer Chantal, but
okay.
Yeah, that happens a lot.
I mean, we've been close, you know, we've known each other for so long, so okay, I can still call you Chantal.
Yes, please do, please do. It's a pleasure to be here, and Etienne, we have 24 open team, 24 women's team who are competing for the top spot, and then this game right now, today, we're going to see in white, Team Manitoba from Winnipeg, and then in dark, on the right-hand side of your screen right now, huddling, Dyno from the Prime program in Vancouver. These two teams, the winner of this game, gets to play for gold. Gold out of 24 teams that are here to compete at the Junior National Championships. And so this is quite the honor. The winner goes for gold, and the loser of this game goes for the bronze medal match. So an important outcome in this game.
So this game is intended to last for 85 minutes. So looking forward for a ton of action. So right as of now, Dynos, which was initially ranked first of the tournament, haven't suffered any loss, not only in this tournament, but throughout their entire season. What an amazing performance so far from the Vancouver-based team. While Team Manitoba, we were talking, Chantal, just before the game, how challenging it is to play with to play tournaments when you're based out in Manitoba, because it's remote and the closest town is Minneapolis, which is still 8-hour drive.
An 8-hour drive is your closest town, and they still have such a deep and high-performing ultimate Frisbee community in Winnipeg, and so we're seeing it now. They were ranked 5th, Team Manitoba, coming in this tournament, and now they're playing against Dyno, who were ranked 1st. And so to get to these, to this high level of being, at a maximum of 4th place, is quite the feat for a team that, as you say, is an 8-hour drive from the next neighboring ultimate frisbee town.
And Coach Karen and Coach Aaron were telling us that they entered this tournament, and they were in a tough pool. They were with Origin from Quebec City, and also Dyno were in the same pool as Team Manitoba in their first 2 games, which were actually game number 3 and game number 4 of their entire season were against Dyno and Origin. So what a challenging tournament have they had to deal with so far. So Team Manitoba wearing the white jerseys, while Dyno's wearing the dark jerseys. Zone defense by Team Manitoba, but Dyno's moving along fairly well so far, entering the red zone. Setting a vertical stack transition from a 1-to-1 defense for Team Manitoba. Along the open side, number 9, Zito Fung, scoring the first point of this game, taking an early 1-0 lead. Dyno.
And let's just highlight the footwork by number 9 on Dyno. So Lauren Zito Fung had some really impressive jab steps to get free from her defensor. So what I appreciated of that is that she gave the entire momentum of her body to go in one direction and then really planted very hard, made her defender bite, and went on the other direction. And she did this not just once, twice, 3 times. She did it over and over. And once she got it, she dished it to her handler and went back into the end zone. So some great footwork and great athleticism by number 9 on Dyno to score the first point of this semi-final game.
Flawless execution from the dark jerseys from Vancouver, taking a short lead early in the game, 1-0. So Chantal, we were talking also with the Dyno's coaching staff, and they mentioned how many players did they have that were on Team Canada in Birmingham in the World Championship? Is it 10?
They mentioned 10 players, so they had 4 on the mixed team and 6 on the women's team.
It just shows and displays the amount of talent that is in the Vancouver region. But also Tobas having their also sets of top athletes. 5 of their players won the high school championship. So that's how deep these 2 teams are showing in regards of talent. Dynos with the first break opportunity. Nice pass on the open side, intended to be for Ryan Young, but this slept out of her hand. There's still some, the grass is still humid, so every time there's a turnover, the disc needs to be dried up. Number 43, Erms, putting the disc back into play, feeding Tannehill along the sideline. Tried to center it, tons of pressure on defense.
There's
Anderson,
a pick called by number 3 on Dyno.
A pick call. So for those who are less familiar with the sport, a pick call is when you're victim of obstruction, either by a teammate or somebody from the other team. Even if it's on purpose, you call it, and you catch up with your player, you stop the play, and then once everybody's settled, action is back. Dyno with their second break opportunity of the game. Quinn with the disc, looking for a reset. 10 seconds are running out quickly, but nice little up dish. Now it's number 33, Nicole, along the sideline, working. Oh, that's a great defense by number 19, Emmering.
I was surprised a bit there to see that she didn't recenter the disc at that location. That was a very tight lane to work in.
Going for a long pass successfully. Emmerling with the disc, dishing it to Cruz. Centering it now to number 21, Tannehill. Nice disc movement by Tobas. 3 yards away from a potential first point. Burns with the disc. Players have 10 seconds to attempt a pass, but unfortunately miscued on the reset.
And the wind
Dynos.
has just picked up. The wind has just picked up. It's behind our back. So from the bottom of your screen to the top of your screen, there's a little bit of wind now.
Young, midfield, going upwind, as Chantal just mentioned. Kind of a messy stack entering the red zone. Number 7, Al Taba. Great little flick in the space, deep in the end zone, but a little too deep for Dyno's receiver, number 33, Nicole. It will be a turnover in favor of Team Manitoba, who's still fighting to keep that offense hold.
And Diane Quinn just putting number 15 on Dyno, just putting that disc up in the end zone, but it did get caught on the edge of the disc, and it landed further and further from her receiver than she intended.
Erms putting the disc back into play. One of the main handler. There was a nice defense by Dyno, was just shadowing Herms, and nice footwork by number 14, getting herself open to provide Dynos their second point of the game, Zoe Young. Dyno taking a 2-0 lead early in this game with the first break point.
And there were quite a few turnovers on this point. So from the Dyno side, I think they were playing quite close to the line, and they will start to recenter, I'm sure. And from the Manitoba side, a few turns, mainly due to overthrowing. I think the pressure is really strong. Dyno's applying a lot of defensive pressure, which is forcing the throw to be just a little bit further from the receiver, and that creates some catching errors. And so just on both sides, they're still working out the initial nerves of the game, and we're seeing some errors on both sides still, with some scoring possibilities on both sides.
Absolutely.
Manitoba was very close to their end zone there at one point.
They were a few yards away from their first goal, but they miscued on the reset. And how tough it is, Chantal, when you're trapped along the sideline, a few yards from the end zone. There's a ton of traffic in front of you. You want to go around your mark to reset, but your mark says, hey, I'm not going to give you that easy.
No,
so it's a ton of pressure. You need like great extension, great throwing abilities also. So
and
it's
maybe
always
some
a
fakes,
challenging position to be in.
Yes, it does help if there are some potential targets that you could reach, maybe an up-the-line cut, and then the mark is thrown off. But if there's nothing, the mark knows what you're trying to do.
And some people might disagree with me, but when I'm in that position, just hammer it cross-court. Just a classic. I know all the coaches will hearing me and say, don't say that, Etienne.
Well, we've heard from a lot of the coaches this week that possession is what they focus on. And so it's all about keeping your head cool and making sure your team stays in possession of the disc. So I think that's what's being favored, at least at these junior levels, Etienne. Maybe not.
You're right.
Maybe not everywhere.
Manitoba miscuing midfield. Dyno threatening for a potential third point. 24, Hunter with the disc. Resets in the middle, reaching out to Wang. Dyno with kind of a vertical stack, adapting depending on where the disc is. Wang, her again. Nice up the line cut by Young. Unfortunate drop by Wang.
I think she was looking at her feet, trying to check if she was in yet, and the disc hadn't completely been secured in her hands, and that caused a bit of a drop.
Secure the disc, and after, look where your feet are on the field.
Unfortunate drop there by Manitoba.
And a quick strike by Dyno, scoring their third point of the game. That's a second consecutive break. Dyno so far in the driver's seat, leading 3-0 in the semifinal. First of two semifinal in the women division. The other semifinal is currently being played, and it's featuring Origine from Quebec City versus Canyon from BC, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, and Etienne, we mentioned that 10 players on Dyno are part of Team Canada. So we said 4 on the mixed team and 6 on the women's team. What we did not mention yet is not just the players that are part of Team Canada. So just to explain to the viewers, Canada sends a team of juniors in the mixed, open, and women's divisions at the World Championship. And this year, it happened in Birmingham, England, and it happened from July 21st to July 27th, 2024. And on Dyno, their head coach, so that's Edward Guo, was the coach for the mixed Team Canada team. And so he had 4 of these players on that team. And one of their assistant coaches, Victoria, shout out to her, had the responsibility of coaching, being part of the staff, coaching the women's Team Canada team. And so 6 of the Dyno players were part of her team in Birmingham.
Great block by Dyno on the first pass of Tobas. And double happiness for number 13, and Ninatse blocking that pass and just attacking the end zone, receiving this pass from her teammate. Dyno leading 4-0 with their 3rd consecutive break point.
Yes.
So timeout call by Toba.
I like this timeout call. I mean, for me, the 4-point difference is where a timeout must be called. That's sort of my own personal threshold. When there starts to be that 4-point difference, it starts to be significant enough that you say, okay, hold on. We need to just regroup. You know, do we need to just have a look at our strategy, just get our heads back in the game, just maybe also give the momentum of the game a break or a change. I think a 4-point difference is a great time to take a timeout. What do you think they're saying to the teams at this time?
Well, it's all about execution, because you don't have to give much room to Dyno to counter and to score some break points. You just need to execute. And I feel like the cutters from Manitoba so far have been a little shy. You know, they don't seem to be like aggressive in giving their enders some options. And maybe it's due to the very suffocating one-to-one defense Dyno that they're playing right now. They're so athletic, not leaving much room for the cutters to go in. But still, you got to create some movements. Even though you're tightly defended, you need to do some. You need to try to create some stuff.
Mm-hmm, because when there is movement created, then opportunities happen. But when there's no movement, there's only one guarantee: there are no opportunities. And so I agree with you. And how do you motivate a team to try hard when, you know, maybe in their minds the defense is too suffocating? What do you say to your team?
And I believe that work doesn't start on the day of the game. It starts through it's a work in progress, and you just say, hey, let's hang a smile on our face. We're in the semi-final of the Canadian Championship. So we're privileged to be here. We flew from Winnipeg to Ottawa, so let's have fun, let's work hard, and leave it all on the field. Whatever happens, happens, and let's make sure to stay in the present moment.
That's right.
It is that point. Whatever the scoreboard, let's work on what we can do right now. And I'm pretty sure that's what Aaron and Karen, the 2 coaches of Team Manitoba, have said to their players. See, isolation from Manitoba. See the one-to-one defense, how tight it is.
A great grab by Violette Lamoureux, number 26.
Absolutely. Toba is moving along. Claesson with the disc, stung on the sideline. See how the mark works, but miscued here. Unfortunate miscue. Great anticipation by Ing. Dyno back in possession. Kind of a horizontal stack. Great cut in by the dark jerseys. Quickly reaching the midfield. Liang with the disc right now. Still a one-to-one defense by Manitoba, trying to slow down this Dyno machine. Well foughted along the sideline, blocked by number 24, Bryn Martin. Tobas at their own goal line.
And I believe it's Claesson who has the disc right now, and Claesson is the youngest. Oh, what a great second bid there for Team Manitoba. Claesson is the youngest of their roster, and she's one of their key handlers, number 36 on Team Manitoba.
Quick dish from number 27, Phoebe Chen. I'm not sure who caught that disc, but nonetheless, it's Dyno's 5th point, leading 5-0 in this women's semifinal.
Another good point for Dyno. And as we were saying, let's go back to Cindy Klassen, who is the youngest player on Team Manitoba. Sometimes this happens in junior teams, that you'll have really young players come in and they feel intimidated and they don't want to take, you know, any space on the field. They feel like these other players have been there for a long time. I'm shy. I want to, you know, leave room for others who have more experience. And then sometimes you have these players that come in and they have the skills and they have the confidence and they take the room that their team wants them to take, by the way, because I should say this to all players. If you're on the field, you have a job to do. It doesn't matter how old you are, how young you are on the field, how much experience you have. We all have the same role. We're part of this team, and the team needs you to cut, get open, handle, do the best you can. And clearly, Sylvie Klassen has figured that out, Etienne.
Absolutely, absolutely. And now, Chantal, you asked me, well, how do you motivate your team? You're losing 4-0. You call a timeout. What do you say to your teammate? On the other end, Dyno leading now 5-0. They had an amazing tournament. They're an amazing team. And those two teams have met one another earlier in the tournament. And Dyno won the game. I think it's 15-1. So it was like a one-way game. How do you keep your team when you're leading and you're such a powerhouse, to make sure that you play as hard as you can, you know, because it would be, you know, understandable you want to pull it back a little, but you're a national champion. How do you keep those players motivated to give their best all the time, even though the scoreboard shows that you have a definite lead?
Well, that's a good question, but I've seen the best players, they always play their best. I think that's actually, it's almost like it's the opposite way around. The best players always give their best on the field, and that's a characteristic of the best players, and that's why the best players make the teams. It's because they're so consistent, and they know that they always play their game. And just speaking of, you know, a large lead for Team Dyno, as this is missed in the end zone, the coaching staff of Team Dyno told us that they're striving for the perfect balance between humility and confidence. And that's not something that they started working on yesterday or today for this game. So to your point, how do you motivate them? I think that in their minds, so nothing is acquired in advance here. You know, all teams can make mistakes. So striking that balance of humility and confidence is important, continuing to work hard.
In the meantime, Erms in the red zone. Unforced error by the white jerseys, Dynos in possession. There's been a series of unforced error over the last few minutes. Erms putting the disc back into play. Well-angled pass. There's no win right now on UPI, so you can be very, very creative with your throws. The will not impact it.
There was a pick called on this play. And we'll see if it impacted, because she was suspiciously alone, but maybe there was some poaching. We're not 100% sure what happened there, so let them discuss it and see what was impacted by that pick. The two observers. Big shout out to all the observers doing their best at these tournaments to help the teams navigate all of these situations and mediate all of the calls. And if you're interested in being an observer, there are regular trainings by Ultimate Canada. So get some information and sign up.
And it's when you sign up for an observer's clinic, then you realize you don't know the rules. Even though you've been playing for a minute, you think you know the rule, but you don't know the rules.
Some good recentering and good flow by Manitoba now.
10 yards away, but I think that was caught just on the line outside, and that's what the observers do. They are active call on lines. Another unforced error, this time by Dyno. Team Manitoba resetting in the middle. Cruz with the disc. This point is getting longer and longer.
It looks like Dyno is applying a flood on their stack. So they're stacking horizontally and flooding the stack away from the handler. And that gives a lot of room to play in that lane. But the wind caught that disc and it landed outside.
great flow by Dyno. Just 2 passes. They've crossed the field, but the second pass just landing out of bounds. Manitoba in possession, but still 70 yards away from a potential first point. Nice flick with the intention to put some outside in, but it was running out of ins. There was just too much out on that throw.
Yes, and it never came back in, so it's going to be picked up by Dyno at the location where it was thrown out.
3 yards away from a point, which indeed they are converting. Ryan Young providing the dark jerseys their 6th point. Dyno in the driver's seat in this women's semi-final.
They're in the driver's seats in terms of points, but if I look at just this one last point, I think that we spent a little bit more time in the half of the field where Team Manitoba was going to score.
Absolutely.
So I think that Manitoba had the lead of that last point. They were not able to score on it, but they're definitely figuring some things out. And like you said before, they've only had a handful of games this year. They don't have a team that they play against in Winnipeg. They had organized a tournament in Minneapolis, an 8-hour drive away, but when they got to the tournament, they only got to play 2 games, and then there was so much rain, the rest of the tournament was canceled. And so they had 2 games to prepare before coming to nationals. And so their first game of this tournament was against Dyno, which was their 3rd game of the season. So they're continually adjusting, continually gelling and growing, much more so than other teams who've been playing all season in multiple tournaments.
So I'm just going to take this moment to say a huge thanks to all the coaching staff and all the parents helping making this event a possible one, providing opportunities for all these young women and young men to attend a national championship.
Beautiful run through D by number 22 on Dyno. That was Lauren Fung.
Tessa Bell with the disc feeding Taylor Bailey. Just about at the brick mark. Suki Liang now. Great disc movement. Just great handlers work. Oh, what a nice grab. Whoa, that disc was low. I don't think she was expecting that pass, but still great reaction from Dyno's receivers, leading now 7-0 in this women's semifinal.
Number 55, Tessa Bell, choosing to do that little dish pass right in what our co-commentator Clay would say is the coffin corner. That little corner where there's so much traffic, but her little dish pass did get picked up tips of the finger by her teammate where we couldn't see the number of the receiver, but good job on that presence to be able to read that and get that 7th point for Dyno. So Dyno is having a very significant lead this game. I guess right now we're just wishing for Manitoba to score at least 1 point, to outdo the score that they had on their first game coming in.
Absolutely.
Because they've played against Dyno and they had scored 1. So let's wish for them to at least score more than 1 this game.
And so far they had great opportunity to just like run short of just converting the opportunities with some unforced error, and due also to the very well established Dyno's defense literally shadowing their opponents, not leaving any room to cut or to get open.
Dyno is a high-performance program. I mean, the whole Prime program is a high-performance program. They have several teams in the Vancouver region, and Dyno is their top team. And so the athletes are treated as almost adult athletes. And they're trained to be very athletic, very high-performing. This is what they want. This is what they're going to do. You know, they don't necessarily want to be overconfident, but their goal is to make it all the way.
Dyno with number 33, great footwork, great around. Tegan Nicole just with a quick backhand. And Dyno scoring their 8th point, which will lead to a halftime break right now. So we started the game 25 minutes ago. So tons of time remaining for this semi-final. So we'll take a short break, me and Chantal, but we'll have the great. Stay tuned, because Desmond, the best cameraman in the business, will have a great opportunity of doing an interview with Dyno's number 9, Lauren Zito Fong. Stay tuned. We'll be right back for the second half of this women's semi-final.
And welcome back to the live stream, everybody. I'm Desmond Thomas here with number 9 on the Dynos, Lauren Zito Fung. Lauren, you guys, 25 minutes in, you've taken half already, 8-0. Talk to us a little bit about how your team plays and how you're able to find such success on the field.
We like to play a lot of tight person defense. We know that Manitoba has some really good deep shot looks, so we're trying to close that down as best as we can. And yeah, just capitalizing on turns as quickly as possible.
And talk to us a little bit about the culture of this team. We know you guys are all about winning. You guys are a very serious organization. How does that come through, and where has that started? Does that start with the coaches, or does that start from you guys as the players?
I think the coaches have created a really good foundation and really embody the idea of family and just being one big group, no cliques kind of thing, and just working hard together to be the best we can, push each other.
And for you and this team, what is the big end goal? Maybe not for this season, for years to come.
I think a lot of us is to continue just playing at a high level, whether that's in adults or just at juniors, and I guess to try to maintain, like high level and keep up our professionalism and like high intensity.
And to keep building Ultimate in Vancouver?
Yeah. Keep building Ultimate in Vancouver.
Well,
yes.
you're doing a great job of that so far. Best of luck in the second half and in the rest of the tournament.
Thank you.
we are back for this women's semi-final. Dyno wearing the dark jerseys, Team Manitoba wearing the white jerseys. So far, it has been all about Dyno having scored the total 8 points of this game so far. Tobas hunting down for their first point. But the spirit is high. You see all the white jerseys just smiling, the coaching staff smiling, say, hey, we're at a national championship. We've made it to semifinals, and we are facing one of probably the top junior team, not only in Canada, but in the world right now. So let's enjoy it. Let's have fun. Let's give it the best we can and enjoy the moment.
You have a point when you say that this is probably one of the top teams in the world, because as you mentioned before, in Dyno, they have 6 players in the women's team. And the women's team came in 4th. The women's team came in 4th at
Worlds.
the Worlds.
Absolutely.
And so, absolutely, that Dyno has one of the best teams in the world, because they have 6 of those women that came in 4th at the world level. So you're right. Team Manitoba is playing against one of the top teams in the world right now.
So Manitoba starting the second half on offense. Nice vertical stack going long. It's floating. It's being caught by number 5, Ella Boyda. What a pass, but what a layout grab to secure Toba's first point of the game. And the team is celebrating indeed. Wow.
So they're on the board. That's got to feel amazing, coming out of half, saying yes. And they had clearly set up this play. And let's talk about number 5, Ella Boyda, who caught that long disc. She ran for it. She outran her defense, and she bid for that, and she threw herself down. And she was already mentioned by her coaches as being one of the primary cutters for Team Manitoba. And now we exactly see why. So they had set up that play, and it was the perfect play to make a point coming back. They mean business, Etienne.
And I'm going to use the image you used yesterday. You know, at the Top Gun movies, when the two aircrafts are fighting, and Boda just locked in on the disc, and she said, no, you ain't going anywhere. You will be in my hand in a split second, and that's what she did indeed.
And so it is Team Manitoba throwing to Prime, who's going to start on O. I say Prime because Prime is the name of the program in Vancouver, and in that program in Vancouver, they have several teams. This is their top team, Dyno.
Manitoba putting on a zone defense. That's how they started the game. They want to create some turnovers. But so far, Dyno has been handling it fairly well, earning some yardage, getting into the red zone, and quick underneath pass by number O, Suki Liang, leading to a Dyno's 9th point of the game, in control for the dark jerseys.
Yes, I believe that was caught by Lynn, number 28. And Dyno showing that this is not going to go down. You know, they're going to recap here and say, this is not the way it's going to go down. Some fast handling, give goes, great crisp small throws. I don't think Manitoba even had a chance to put some defense really on those handlers. And before we could even turn around, it was a score. So.
And that's what you want to do when you're playing. You're playing against a zone defense. You want to move the disc around in order to not allowing the zone defense to settle. You want the zone defense to be moving around, running around, so they get tired, and then you will be creating some holes in the zone defense. So great work by Dynos to counter this zone defense played by Manitoba.
And one of the great things about Ultimate Frisbee is that the team that scored, they pull to the other team. And so now Team Manitoba will come back on offense. And if they keep possession, again, it's a possession game. If they keep possession of the disc, they score. This is how it works. So they have their opportunity. And here it is. It's all about decision making. Oh, that's a nice play. So the whole stack flooded to the right, and the person at the back of the stack came and cut for the disc.
Boyda once again opening herself up in this isolation, but unforced error against Manitoba. Dynos is back with the disc. Forced flick or away. So a total of 48 teams attended that junior championship, 24 in the women's division, 24 in the men's division. Great focus by Dyno's receiver. I think it's number 99 of Stas. Along the sideline, nice pass, reaching out to Fong. Looking for a reset in the coffin corner, as you said, Chantal. Getting defended, not much room. We're trying to get open, but time is running out. Oh, what a nice little high release to reach out to Hunter. We're just putting it back to her teammate. Dynos working out the coffin corner in order to score their 10th point of the game, reaching out the double-digit mark on the scoreboard.
A few things were surprising there with the end of this point at 10. So they were in that coffin corner, and they were working very closely with each other. I was surprised for them to not be taking up a little bit more room on the field, but that did seem to work out for them. And one of the things that made a difference in that score was that Hunter, number 24, was it number 24 who had the disc? Let me just confirm that.
I believe so, yeah.
So number 24 who threw the disc, threw a left-handed throw on that. And I think that left-handed flick was not expected by the defense. And so I don't know if she's always left-handed or if she's ambidextrous, but it seemed to make a difference in how she could get that off and put it to her teammate in the end zone.
And you're bringing a great point, Chantal. That's something we've seen evolve over the last, I'd say, 5-8 years. So right-handed handlers just working on their quick release from the left hand. Maybe you're not able to do a long, but you can throw like a steady 10-yard, 12 yards straight pass with your left hand, so it gives you more opportunity. And we are seeing more and more players that can throw with both hands, at least from a back end. So that's just how the sports is evolving, and maybe in the future it will be just like in soccer or for like the football, where players can kick as easily from their left foot or their right foot. In the meantime, Manitoba working their way up to the end zone. Now it's 27. Orn with the disc. Coffin corner once again. Stall is getting high, but nice reset to Bieber. Bieber pass and running, attacking the sideline, but there's a poach. And I believe the disc was out of bounds.
Yes,
unfortunate.
It was just a little bit outside.
Great intention, great planning, great decision making, but just a lack of execution. Great fake by number 0, Liang. Even our mark believed that this was gone, but here it is gone. But just a little too high for Nicole. Manitoba back with the disc.
The wind has picked up. It's coming from the right-hand side of your screen, so that's what Team Manitoba has to work against here.
Bieber to Lamoureux, but Lamoureux could not handle that pass, so turnover in favor of Dyno. Bell going around her mark. Wanted to go long, but it's being denied by Kate Horn.
So Team Manitoba looking to at least score one more point than what they did against Dyno in the opening game here. They would double the points that they've scored against Dyno. Dyno's not going to make that easy for them. Back on offense.
Dyno just a little miscued. That was a tough throw, a tough short flick pass, but Toba's going long, finding number 11, Bieber. 50-yard long pass, entering the red zone for the white jerseys. Lamoureux with the disc, trying to set some vertical stack. Now it's Klassen resetting it, midfield. Klassen again 10 yards away. Nice little flick. Toma scoring, waiting for the confirmation of the observers. Yes, indeed. The white jersey scoring their second point of the game. Great effort, great disc movement, and great layout to secure that second point.
So Team Manitoba did double the points that they'd had against Dyno, so they must be thrilled about that. What I loved about that flow, Etienne, was the assurance and the presence of both number 36, Klassen, and number 26, her teammate, Lamoureux. They were playing so well with each other. It started off with Klassen really putting out long and finding number 11, her teammate, Rebecca Bieber. And then it was a mix and match of back to number 26, so back to Lamoureux, back to Klassen, back to Lamoureux, and it ended with Klassen sending it just a little bit, leading the pass for Lamoureux, who had, that was a situation where she locked eyes on it and she was not going to let it go, and you could sense that intensity. So a great point by Team Manitoba.
And Chantal, you were mentioning about the Birmingham World Championship earlier this season, where the Open division for Canada, Team Canada Open, brought back some hardware, some bronze hardware from this tournament, while the mixed Team Canada brought back some silver hardware. And as you mentioned, women finishing fourth. So we're attending the semi-final in the women's junior division. But this is the first half of this week-long tournament here at UPI Ottawa. So today, Wednesday, will be the last day of the junior division. And as of tomorrow, it's senior time. Yes, the senior open and women's will be playing their national championship, while we're seeing number 9, Lauren Zito Fong, scoring Dyno's 11th point on their way to win the game.
I
and
don't know.
play the final, more likely.
I don't know that Zito Fong was the intended receiver, Etienne, but there was a line of Dyno receiver. They were all the first ones to cross the end zone line, and so there was just a choice of potential receivers, and they didn't miss the mark on that. So number 9 caught that and was really happy about it. We could see her smiling afterwards, knowing maybe that she was not the intended receiver, Zito Fong.
But that's one thing, eh? Sometimes you just put it in the space and say, well, whoever wants it the most, go get it and fight for it.
Mm-hmm. And I do think that the thrower had someone in mind. They were intending. But and I'm not sure if the cameras pick up on that, but the flags in the back are showing us that the wind has picked up, and it was not there at the start of the game, the wind. It was quiet at the beginning. The game started at 8:30 in the morning, but now it's a little bit later. It's about 9:15 right now. And the wind is coming from the right of the screen to the left of the screens, and that's impacting. And it's also coming from the bottom to the top. It's impacting how the disc is flying. A pick called, and resuming play.
Dyno setting their zone defense against Manitoba's O-line, trying to find some holes. But unfortunate miscue on reset. Dyno's 5 yards shy of potentially their 12th point. Quick dish by number 33, Nicole, finding her teammate. Dyno's 3 points away from their ticket to this women's final.
Yes.
Who will they be facing? Will that be Origine from Quebec City or Canyon from BC? Who knows? We'll try to get some scored for you. And as we were mentioning, Chantal, there is the Senior National Championship will kick off tomorrow for Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, with the finals on Sunday. So it's a full week of activities here at UPI Ottawa. And I will take this opportunity to thank all the organization, Ultimate Canada. A huge week of work. So much planning goes into those national championship. And also like to be very, very thankful to, yes, the gazillion volunteers.
The gazillion volunteers.
Gazillions.
Yes. So you were talking about the finals. The women's finals will be amazing. So if it is Origine has not lost one single match this year except against Dyno, and they will want a revenge. So I'm not sure how Canyon's done so far, but if Canyon beats Origine, then they're very much a strong team. So whichever way this goes, the women's final is going to be amazing. And so we have a good defense by number 12 on Dyno, who prevents the long throw to be caught. That's Kieran Ferguson.
And we mentioned that many times, but Dyno's one-to-one defense is totally like literally shadowing their opponent, not leaving any room to get open. It started to create some movement. Nice one-hand grab by Dyno.
We're hearing the coaches on the sideline, and the coaches for Dyno are very much actively coaching their players. We have to say that Edward and Vic, they have coached for a long time. It's Edward's 15th year coaching and Vic's 3rd year, but they both coached the other coach, which is Miyu, in 2019 when she played juniors. And here we go for another score for Dyno.
Al-Taba scoring that point. And if I'm not mistaken, Chantal, I believe all 7 players have touched the disc in this last possession. So it just shows how well this Dyno machine is so well oiled.
They were playing this horizontal stack, a vertical stack. And as I've said before, they're flooding the stack away from the handler. So for those a little bit less familiar with what that means is if the handler, for example, is close to this end of the field, the stack will leave much more green space in front of the handler. So we'll go to the other side of the field. So they will stack and leave a large lane of grass open. And what that does is that the one cutter who is coming from that stack will have a lot of room to do sort of what we call an isolation play. So they will be one-on-one against their other player. And if they go in and the other player is on defense near the handler, the throw can be long. But if the defense is long, then they can get a short throw. And so it's a lot, it's one strategy to create some flow. And we clearly saw that strategy here very close to the screen during that last point, which helped them create some momentum.
So we mentioned that the senior division will kick things off tomorrow here at UPI, but there's also a lot of upcoming international ultimate action. From August 31st to September 7th, there is the Senior World Ultimate Championship that will be played on the Gold Coast of Australia. So down under. Great ultimate action where Team Canada will be very well represented in all 3 divisions. But also later in November, there's the Master World Ultimate Championship that will be played in Irvine, USA from November 10th to 16th.
Very nice layout grab by Dyno there in the end zone.
That was so sweet.
I believe that was Tallulah Chan, number 18.
And that's one thing that's a privilege when you play on natural grass, and it's a little still humid this morning, so when you land, it's so soft you just slide. But still, like if I'd lay out just like her, I would still be on the ground.
Yes.
Like say hurt and suffering, but they're such great athletes and they have those techniques to smoothen their landing on the ground.
I love playing on this type of grass that's really sort of lush, and just as you say, early in the morning where the mist is still on the grass, it makes it really soft. I also love playing against really strong teams. So if I was on the Manitoba team, this personally as such an opportunity to play against some of the strongest players in the world, literally. A lot of these women were on Team Canada and have played at the world level, and so this game in itself is so exciting. It's something that you don't get to do very often in your life, to play against top tier players. Such an opportunity.
Dyno 1 point away from their ticket to this grand final game, which will be hosted later today. That will be the game that will conclude this whole junior tournament. It will be hosted at 3:45 this afternoon. It will be on Rogers TV. As for our next assignment, it will be at 12:30. Well, we'll have the privilege of hosting the women's bronze medal game, which will feature, well, if things remain the same, more likely Team Manitoba. Who will they be facing in this bronze medal game? Will that be Origine or Canyon? We'll let you know for sure.
And now Team Manitoba trying to score, so they put one up mid-long field to Lamoureux, who caught it, but she caught it the same time as the Dyno player. And then there was a bit of a call on that, and I'm not sure if it was a foul call or a contested out call, but the observers came to see, and now the players are repositioning themselves. And I'm sure Team Manitoba is not wanting this to be the last point. If Team Manitoba scores, then there will be another point after this. But if this is... there's a defense. If Dyno scores, this is the last point of the game.
Great interception by Dyno. No, it's great, this movement again. One hand grab. She did the exact same thing a few minutes ago. Nice positioning, nice cut in. Dyno moving upward. Tsay with the disc, resetting it to Nicole. Again, nice cut in by number 42, Peary. Her again. She only needs one hand to catch the disc. She just never misses it. Put the disc in the space in the end zone, but a little too much gas on that last pass. Landing on the ground, Manitoba with an opportunity of scoring their third point of the game. They will have to resolve Dyno's zone defense, but they're going long, and it's floating, and it's, almost caught by number 26, Violette Lamoureux.
A great second bit there by Lamoureux, who really wanted it. She really laid out for that, so
still
putting
great
it
display
all
of
out on the field.
Fighting spirit. That's what we want. Peary flicking it to her teammate. Zito Fong this time securing the point, and Dyno just earned themselves a ticket to the women's division gold medal game, which will be hosted later this afternoon. Congratulations to the Prime program and their representative on Dyno for having such an amazing tournament, leading to the gold medal game, which, they came here on a mission, I believe. They came to Ottawa and say, hey, officially we're not saying we won the gold medal, but everybody wants it.
And we're no exception. And they did well. They're a high-performance program, and they showed it today.
And also congratulations to Team Manitoba for making it in the semi-final.
So Team
what
Manitoba
a great tournament
moves
they had,
on.
and what a tough pool that they have to go through. So making it to the semi-final is just an achievement in itself. But it's not over for Team Manitoba.
Exactly.
They will have the opportunity of fighting for the Canadian Championship bronze medal that will be hosted at 12:30 Ottawa time.
And I will be commentating that game.
Yeah, me and Chantal will have the great privilege. I say Chantal, you better know her as the Taylor Swift of commentating, as we all know. So thanks again to everybody, all the staff who are making this event possible. So thanks again to Desmond for handling the camera so well. And thanks to Sarah, who's been roasting under the sun all throughout that game. Hopefully some shades will happen on her work desk sometime today. And thanks also to all the organization. My name is Etienne. Thank you, Chantal. We'll talk to you later at 12:30. In the meantime, stay safe, go outside, have a coffee, and throw some discs. Cheers.